KSAT 12. The Nightbeat starts right now.
We begin tonight with a live look at radar. You can see some activity on the map, but none of it in San Antonio quite yet. It could be a while before any rain makes its way to the Alamo City.
Meteorologist Adam Caskey keeping an eye on it all for us, and we'll check in with him in a moment. But first,
bullet holes mark the scene of a shooting. Those bullets not only hitting a downtown nightclub, but also the leg of a teen who was riding on an electric scooter right outside. The night team's Japhanie Gray spoke with the victim's older brother, who hopes this shooting encourages people to put an end to violence.
He said that when he was riding, a shootout happened, and he happened to be in the misfire, and one of the bullets hit him.
The older brother of a 16-year-old who was shot overnight says he's angry. The teen was shot in the calf while riding an e-scooter just before 2 this morning. The brother doesn't want to be identified in order to protect his little brother's identity.
I've had a couple friends die when I was younger, so I know how it feels, you know. But I mean, luckily it was in the leg and not in the chest, or it could have been anywhere.
San Antonio police say the teen was shot near the V Lounge near East Martin and Soledad Street. He and his uncle told police they heard a few pops before realizing the teen had been hit in the leg. The aftermath of that shooting can still be seen in the damaged windows of the nightclub. The teen was taken to Brooke Army Medical Center.
He's a strong kid, so he's doing great. He's at home right now. He's recovering. He's with my family.
Police do not have a description of the shooter's vehicle since neither the teen nor the uncle saw anything. His brother says this is just another reminder that the gun violence needs to end.
People to open their mind and realize that when they're shooting, there's innocent people around. There's victims that can fall that have never done nothing in their life, you know? It just needs to stop, you know? This is out of control.
The family says that the 16-year-old is expected to make a full recovery. San Antonio police still do not know a motive behind the shooting, but they're urging anyone with any information that can help in this investigation to call police. Live at Public Safety Headquarters, Japhanie Gray, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you, Japhanie. There is a possibility for federal charges against a Kerr County man. 28-year-old Coleman Blevins is already accused of planning a mass shooting at a Walmart. That plan going unfulfilled after the FBI tipped off Kerr County deputies. Deputies were able to use social media to intercept messages from Blevins and other evidence. With help from the Secret Service, investigators tracked Blevins down and arrested him on Friday night.
Get the Secret Service involved, and we got a ping order on the phone, and that's how we were able to track him down, which once he was arrested, a search warrant was executed at his residence.
Authorities seized firearms, ammunition, and radical ideology paraphernalia, which included books, flags, and handwritten documents. He remains in the Kerr County Jail tonight.
Bexar County deputies caught up with a wanted man near Converse today. Brandon Jamal Miller was wanted for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. Deputies say he led them on a chase around 11 this morning and threw a gun out of a window before he crashed. He now faces additional charges, including evading arrest and being a felon in possession of a firearm.
We have one severe thunderstorm out there, including the Del Rio area. This is in southeastern Val Verde County. This is pushing off to the east very slowly at about 5 miles per hour. It's really the only active weather we have across our area right now. A lot of activity across the border into Mexico. This could have some wind gusts up to 60 miles per hour and maybe some hail up to about 1 inch diameter. And the threat area is basically right along Highway 90 here, and that's slowly moving eastward. Also a flash flood warning for a good portion of Val Verde County because they're saturated and they just got over 1 inch of rain in about 20 to 30 minutes. Locally, we don't have anything on the radar screen. You head just north of town, a little bit of development here, and we are expecting more development off to the north and west, and then that activity making it here later on tonight. So as we go through the night, our rain and storm chances will be increasing quite a bit. And I think peaking between about 1 a.m. and about 4 a.m. tomorrow morning. We're going to talk more about this, time it out for you, let you know what to expect coming right up.
Thank you, Adam. Several bills passed and on Governor Greg Abbott's desk tonight, including a measure meant to require winterization for some power generators. It follows the deadly February winter storms. Experts praised some reforms in the bill as significant, but say concessions to Texas's powerful oil and gas industry still leaves the grid vulnerable. The work isn't over yet. A special session is expected to allow more bills to pass, but it's not clear when that would take place. Governor Greg Abbott did, however, make one thing clear. No pay for those he says, quote, abandon their responsibilities, end quote. He threatened to veto salaries for lawmakers after a restrictive voter bill failed due to lawmakers walking out of the Capitol before a vote. Democrats explaining their reasoning behind the strategic move.
Walking out was the only tool that we had left in our toolbox, and we took advantage of it. So it buys us time. It also allows our constituents to weigh in.
The voter bill, known as SB 7, will have another chance to pass during a special session. Democratic lawmakers say the measure includes provisions that'll make it harder to vote, but also make it easier to overturn election results. Republican Congressman Michael McCall argues the legislation is meant to ensure a, quote, legitimate vote devoid of fraud, end quote.
Insulin is a human right. That's the belief of one Texas lawmaker who pushed for changes to make insulin affordable. The bills are now headed to the governor's desk. They'll help millions of Texans with down his proposal.
One thing Texas law is making insulin affordable for Texans.
When I left the hospital, I went to Walgreens to pick up my first 30-day supply of insulin, $684 out of pocket. And I had health insurance.
Representative James Tallarico knows firsthand the sticker shock of trying to get a life-saving medication.
For those that depend on insulin, it is a human right. You need it to survive every day.
Two bills he sponsored are now headed to the governor's desk. SB 827 will cap the cost of insulin to insured Texans at $25 per prescription. House Bill 18 will help uninsured Texans get it at a discounted rate.
In type 1 diabetes, you don't get to choose whether or not you buy insulin or groceries. You have to buy insulin because they can't live without it.
Dawn White knows the struggles families face. Her son, diagnosed with type 1 diabetes, takes two different types of insulin. She says her expenses can range from $100 to $500 plus other medical supplies. She says the bills are life-changing.
Families have to, charge on their credit cards, or, they don't contribute to their 401k because they have to buy insulin.
Andrew DeLeon was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes when he was 11 years old. He says many people he knows take risks to make their insulin last.
You just kind of start winging it. You have to start figuring out like little hacks and loopholes to, save money on that stuff.
And according to the American Diabetes Association, more than 34 million Americans have diabetes. If the governor signs the bills, they go into effect in September. Patty Santos, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you, Patty. The Texas Capitol also the site of protests today. One woman continuing her call for change after the death of her daughter, Sandra Bland. Bland died in the Waller County Jail after she was pulled over for a traffic violation. Her mother, Geneva Reed Veal, announced the launch of the Sandra Bland Center for Racial Justice.
We're trying to really assist families with being whole again. So we're doing scholarships. We're doing training. We're teaching financial literacy.
Bland's death was ruled a suicide. In 2017, the Sandra Bland Act passed, requiring independent law enforcement agencies to investigate jail deaths. It also mandates county jails divert people with mental health and substance abuse issues toward treatment. But Veal says more needs to be done in order to fix what she calls a broken system. This week, we noted the one-year anniversary of the murder of George Floyd. So what has changed since then and what hasn't? It's a discussion our KSAT Explains team is looking into. The episode, KSAT Explains 1 year later, will be released tomorrow night. We'll stream the episode live on KSAT.com, the KSAT TV app on streaming devices, and KSAT's Facebook page at 7 p.m.
A somber day of remembrance. Fort Sam Houston National Cemetery holding a private wreath laying ceremony to honor those who died during their service in the military. COVID precautions keeping many distant, but one man able to offer his tribute from afar. Johnny Silva, seen here, carried a custom flag as he made his way through the sacred grounds of the cemetery. He hopes his tribute reminds all generations of the true significance behind Memorial Day.
It's about the people who sacrifice their life for our freedom. It's not about barbecuing. It's about family, sacrifice. It's not about a sale.
And today we also keep another San Antonio service member in mind. Colonel Gordon Swede Larson was the second oldest American prisoner of war who recently passed away. He began his service in the Air Force after World War II, and he was a fighter pilot in Vietnam. Colonel Larson will now be laid to rest next week at Fort Sam Houston. Meanwhile, President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris recognizing the day at Arlington National Cemetery, laying a wreath at the tomb of the unknown soldier. President Biden touched on this day impacting families across the country, including his own. Sunday marked the 6th anniversary of the death of his son, Bo, who was an Iraq War veteran.
Still ahead on the Nightbeat, the pandemic pushed more people into financial trouble, prompting the city to launch its housing assistance program. How many households have been helped so far and how you can qualify, coming up.
And the manhunt in Miami continues tonight. The evidence uncovered in the mass shooting investigation. It's next on the Nightbeat.
A manhunt out of Miami continues tonight, the reward amounting to more than $130,000 for information in a birthday concert turned mass shooting. Police say surveillance video shows 3 armed suspects opening fire on a crowd of people as they left a concert for Miami area rapper yesterday. 2 people are dead and at least 20 are hurt. Investigators say the suspects waited in their vehicle for over a half hour before shooting at the crowd. An SUV believed to be used by the suspects was later found in a canal, but no one was inside.
Back here at home, the pandemic pushed many to financial strain. The city of San Antonio signaling there is still help available through the Housing Assistance Program. Since the pandemic began, 37,000 households have been helped with rental, mortgage, and utility assistance. Millions of dollars are still available to help struggling families. The Night Team's Tiffany Huerta spoke with a San Antonio man who says the program changed his life.
Anxiety. It was a lot of anxiety.
Renee Hiller worried about how he was going to pay his bills.
It's just hard because you don't know where to turn.
Hiller says he had many jobs before the pandemic. He did plumbing, car detailing, pressure washing, but COVID-19 changed all that. He couldn't find work. That's when Hiller applied to a city program his friend told him about.
They helped me pay my rent. They gave me $9,000, $7,000 to my landlord, $1,000 to my light, and the rest went to the water.
Hiller received help through the Emergency Housing Assistance Program that was created in April 2020. Edward Gonzalez, the assistant director for the Neighborhood and Housing Services Department, says the program received a total of $133.5 million. Of that, they have approximately $19.5 million remaining to help families.
We're still seeing a need for families that are suffering and unable to really catch up on the rental and mortgage payments or utility payments.
To qualify for the program, you must show hardship because of the pandemic and earn less than 80% of the area median income. Gonzalez says that is about $57,000 a year for a family of 4.
We are anticipating to receive additional funds, and we hope to see those funds and take those funds to council in early June.
Hiller is thankful for this program.
Awesome program.
Tiffany Huertas, KSAT 12 News.
Looking ahead, Pride Month set to kick off tomorrow for the month of June. We've seen legislation change and impact the LGBTQ+ community in many different ways. Most recently here in Texas, a bill that targeted transgender students and created hurdles in school sports. The bill effectively died, but some people, including the lieutenant governor, have called for its revival. So what are you wanting to discuss or maybe even learn when it comes to Pride Month? You can submit your questions right now on KSAT.com. KSAT Steve Spriester and Isis Romero will use them to prepare for this week's virtual town hall. There will be 2 panelists to discuss the issues facing the LGBTQ+ community and help answer any questions. The town hall is set to take place this Wednesday at 7 p.m.
Take a live look outside with live cam on this Monday evening. We made it through the day without too many showers disrupting those holiday plans. Now we're waiting for more showers to make their way to San Antonio.
Yeah, we're still in a very messy weather pattern. It's an active weather pattern, and it's going to be active for the foreseeable future. So I know we've seen a good amount of rain, some healthy rain that came at a cost, of course, in some situations. And we're going to see more rain. I think mostly just some heavy downpours in the days ahead. But we do have some storms tonight, the potential for some severe weather tonight. Active weather pattern through the rest of the week, so daily storm chances. And the aquifer, though, it's up over 20 feet since late April, up 20.5 feet. A happy aquifer out there. That's what we like to see. Here's a look at our severe thunderstorm watch that's in effect right now. West of I-35, west of San Antonio. We're talking Real County, Uvalde, Zavala, Dimmitt, points westward all the way to the border. So the locations in the communities closer to the Rio Grande, they're included in that watch. And that's the only remaining severe thunderstorm watch across Texas. Remember, the watch means conditions are favorable for severe thunderstorms. The ingredients are there. We just have to wait for them to get mixed together. And already we had one severe thunderstorm warning in Valverde County, but that has since been canceled. You see a lot of activity across the state today. It's one of those situations where we're watching the activity elsewhere and then monitoring its organization and its progress toward us. So we are anticipating this to continually develop just south of San Angelo near I-10 and then push towards San Antonio as we go through the night. There is the off chance of a severe thunderstorm locally, but really we're thinking mostly just some heavy rain with some lightning and thunder. Flash flooding, I think, is our primary risk tonight. That would be here in San Antonio. Within this yellow box closer to the Rio Grande, well, you could have those wind gusts up to 60 miles per hour and maybe some hail up to about an inch in diameter. Here's a look at the radar. It's lit up there along the Rio Grande, especially Del Rio. Southward, you get toward Eagle Pass, you have some development there just north of Eagle Pass. This is where most of the activity is. And this severe thunderstorm warning has since expired, but we do have a flash flood warning in effect for a good chunk of Valverde County until 1 a.m. They're saturated. There's got a lot of heavy rainfall. Locally, nothing really to talk about. You head north of town, Sisterdale area, and toward Comfort, even stretching into Bandera County. A little bit of pop-up activity, but really not a whole lot out there. Here's our futurecast. I like how it represents the situation by about 1 o'clock. That bigger complex is still west and southwest of San Antonio. We'll see some development. Our storm chances locally, I think, will peak around 2-3 a.m. Okay, give or take around 2-3 a.m. should be our peak. And then notice by sunrise, it's east of town along the coastal plain and out of here. And then we can't rule out a stray pop-up or two for the rest of the day tomorrow. So again, roughly 2-3 a.m. is our peak. And then by sunrise, it's east of town. And really, I think most of the day tomorrow is just going to be dry and mostly cloudy. Let's talk temperatures. 72 this morning, topped out at 85, 5 degrees below average. This active pattern keeps us relatively cool. Now we have 60s in the hill country, 77 in San Antonio, 82 Cotulla. We'll start the day tomorrow at 67, make it back into the mid 80s. Not much of a breeze out there. And then that 20 to 30% chance of a pop-up shower or thunderstorm. Wednesday through Friday, we're talking daily, sporadic, pop-up afternoon showers, some downpours, a little bit of lightning and thunder. And then Saturday, we get into more organized activity that could affect the whole day.
Well, if you're sick of the rain, at least look at those 80s.
Right. It's not 100.
It's not 100. Thank you, Adam.
All right, an Astros legend with local ties has a new job.
That's right. We're talking about six-time All-Star World Series champion Lance Berkman. He's already won a high school state championship. When we come back, he now has an opportunity to do it at the college level. Taking over at Houston Baptist University, you'll hear from him on the big announcement. Plus, Naomi Osaka withdraws from the French Open after some controversy. Got the details next.
We are sorry and sad for Naomi Osaka. We wish her the best and the quickest possible recovery.
The president of the French Tennis Federation apologizes publicly to Naomi Osaka after the four-time Grand Slam champion withdrew from the French Open today in big board sports. But first, Astros legend and New Braunfels Canyon grad Lance Berkman is now the new head coach of the Houston Baptist baseball team. He was officially introduced today at a press conference. The six-time Major League All-Star and World Series champ has been moving his way up the coaching ranks. He recently led Second Baptist High School to a Taft State title, and now he will try to turn around a Houston Baptist program that has posted a losing record in each of the last 4 seasons. But it's a challenge the former Cougar will relish.
It's really the last highest level where guys play for the name on the front of the jersey, not the name on the back. When you get in front of kids at this time in their life, you can really influence them for the good, which is a big part of the reason I wanted to be in coaching. So this is kind of a dream come true for me, and I just am so grateful for the opportunity.
Berkman said his biggest focus will be on recruiting and off-the-field responsibilities. Meanwhile, Madison alumnus Jalen Battles is a massive reason why Arkansas baseball made program history and won their first SEC title yesterday afternoon. He finished 3 for 4 at the plate, including a home run, and he also made a spectacular diving stop in the bottom of the 4th, a play that actually made it on SportsCenter's top 10. Battles was named tournament MVP, and now he's part of a Razorback squad that heads into the national tournament as the overall #1 seed.
We're a very confident team. I mean, I know we think we can play with anybody and beat them. So, I mean, it's just, especially we're going to have our fans as well going into the region tournament. So it's going to be even more fun.
Arkansas will open double elimination regional tournament play this Friday. Their first game is against New Jersey Institute of Technology at home at 2 p.m. Game 1 of this year's NCAA Division III Softball National Championship Series between TLU and Virginia Wesleyan was fast. The game was over in less than an hour and 25 minutes. The defending 2019 champs fell behind 4-0 in the first inning. Haley Padilla cut the deficit in half with this 2-run shot in the top of the second, but that was all the scoring in this one. The Bulldogs fall in Game 1 4-2. So TLU will face elimination tomorrow. Game 2 is set for 10 a.m. One way or another, the Judson softball team's historic season will conclude this week in Austin. The Rockets will make their program debut at the state tournament on Friday afternoon. What's the message for the team as they once again head into uncharted territory?
Just be ourselves and play our game. I think our game is what we play best, and when we do it with each other and when we have each other's back, that's when we do it best.
Here's a look at the matchup. Judson will take on Rockwall in the Class 6A semifinals Friday at 4 p.m. And it's D'Hanis against Gale Borden County in the Class 1A semis tomorrow at 1 p.m. And KSAT 12 Sports will be there. The Smithson Valley baseball team is 1 win away from their first state tournament appearance since 2005. They will face Los Fresnos in a 1-game regional final playoff Thursday night at 4 p.m. at Cavanis Field in Corpus Christi. After their series-clinching victory over Eagle Pass, the Rangers gave their early opinion on the matchup.
I know that they got a really good lefty on them. Not a big kid, but throws really well. Going to have to do a little research on them. I mean, but they're a great baseball team. They wouldn't be in the regional finals if they weren't.
It's always been our goal, so we've kind of been just ready for it. And we're very excited now. We're going to go practice all week and get the job done, hopefully.
Should be an exciting week of baseball and softball action. Astros and playoff basketball highlights next. 4-time Grand Slam champion Naomi Osaka has withdrawn from the French Open. She made the stunning announcement on Twitter that she would take a break from competition, citing mental health, anxiety, and depression. Osaka first made waves over the weekend by announcing that she would not attend any interviews during Roland Garros for those same reasons. After her first round victory, she was fined $15,000 for skipping the post-match press conference. Other major tournaments have threatened her with additional fines if she skips interviews in the future. Let's head to the majors. Astros kicking off a 3-game home series against the Red Sox, and the bats were hot tonight. Bottom 5, bases loaded. Kyle Tucker up at the plate, and he knocks one right up the middle. That'll play to pair. Houston racks up 11 runs on 13 hits, and they crush Boston today 11-2. Wizards facing elimination today in Game 4 against the 76ers. MVP candidate Joel Embiid hit the ground hard in the first quarter. He left the game with right knee soreness and did not return. Washington took advantage and took the lead for good on this baseline jumper from Bradley Beal in the fourth quarter. There will be a Game 5. 122-114 is the final.
Into Sean Elliott. He fires the 3 and hits it!
How else could we end today's show? On this day 22 years ago, Sean Elliott hit the game-winning 3 in Game 2 of the 1999 Western Conference Finals between the Spurs and Trailblazers. The Spurs won the game 86-85, that series in 4 games, and claimed their first NBA championship a month later. Pretty good run after that. We'll be right back after the break.
So storms likely developing tonight. Tomorrow, a few isolated pop-up showers or storms in the afternoon. Then daily afternoon pop-up, those random showers. Wednesday through Friday, all those afternoons more organized into the weekend.
Thank you, Adam, and thanks for watching us.
Good night. See you tomorrow.